I said, hey, yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Mojados, and we back for another video. Hope you guys are doing well. Today, we're going to be talking about Vechain, everything you need to know about VET, and we're going to cover what is Vechain, Vechain background, some funding collaboration, tokenomics, governance, what is VTHO, right? And some TA. So you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned all the way to the end of the video so you can get all the juicy details that you need to know about Vechain. So yeah, let's jump right in. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Mo. I like to do research on a lot of different projects. I like to learn, spend a lot of time in the crypto space, and you know, my specialty is technical analysis. I've been doing it about 5 years now, and I've had, you know, some good success in the space, and I want to, you know, try to educate and learn. So if anything you learn in this video, feel free to share it. If I, you know, miss something, feel free to comment it. And yeah, let's jump right in. So guys, Vechain popped on my radar because I had an explosive bull run, and I knew about it earlier, you know, before the bull run happened. I just didn't understand, you know, what it was exactly, what it was doing, and what's the purpose of VET and Vechain, right? So first things first, this headline is pretty massive that I saw in 2020. Walmart China subsidiary teams up with Vechain to trace food products. And you would think, how does a blockchain used to track food products, right? And that's pretty insane. And so, you know, let's take a further look at that, right? And so again, starting off with what is Vechain. Vechain is a blockchain protocol that is designed to increase business efficiencies and supply chain management. Heavy emphasis on supply chain management with the use of distributed ledger technology. It is simpler to streamline information for complex supply chains. Vechain Thor. Oh my goodness, you guys hear that garbage truck outside? Oh my goodness. If you have a muffler like that on your car and it sounds like garbage, please throw it in the trash. Anyways, with the use of distributed ledger technology, it is simpler to streamline information for complex supply chains. Vechain Thor, which is the name of the blockchain, is a public blockchain that the protocol lives on where others may participate on the network. The main focus of Vechain is to work with other businesses to become more sustainable and scalable using their blockchain. It is important to note that Vechain has enterprise-grade applications for multiple sectors in food safety, automotive, and sustainability, and of course, much more. Of course, it's not working now, right? Vechain.com is not working. What is happening? Anyways, moving on. Vechain background. Vechain is a project based out of Singapore, Asia, and is founded by Sunny Lu in 2015. Vechain started off as a fork of Ethereum in 2017, then later launched its own network in 2018. Vechain developers have built a multi-purpose protocol on their network that ranges from on-chain governance, cheap fees, interoperability, and regulatory compliance. Sunny Lu believes in bringing trust to every aspect of the world. The use of the blockchain is made it easier for everyone to see what was being built in real time. On top of being transparent, he believed that building blockchain applications should be super easy. Therefore, he created the Vechain to bridge the gap leading to the success of the network. So, pretty interesting. I learned that Vechain was a fork of Ethereum, which is, you know, again, something I didn't expect at all. And then later it launched its own blockchain, which, you know, it's a sign of strength, right? Going to launch your own mainnet is something that not a lot of ERC20 tokens do, because sometimes what happens is, you know, Ethereum is too slow, or the fees are too high. It's not scalable. So sometimes other like protocols will launch their own blockchain, and we've seen this time and time again. And most of the time when they do that, I've seen a lot of success for those blockchains that do decide to launch their own network. And then moving on to Vechain Collaboration. Vechain held an ICO in 2017, raising about 60 million bucks. That's a lot. They have investors like PwC, Hash Capital, Block VC, Cyper Ventures, Murad Capital Management, and more. Most notably, Vechain is part of a Walmart subsidiary to increase supply chain transparency for its food products. And Sam's Club utilizes a tool from the Vechain platform with other hardware technologies to automate data entries for supply chains. This technology allows customers to scan QR codes to display detailed information on the origin of the product. So this is where the supply chain management kicks in for Vechain and how it is used, right? And then it says, this use case is extremely fascinating from business side and consumer side, and it's clear to be working. Later that year, it was noted by Sam's Club expanded this product into other goods. So guys, clearly when we see like a proof of concept or some type of concept launched into a blockchain, and then it is later explored with more options, that means that the product was successful, right? If Sam's Club didn't see a purpose and was not successful with the first product that Vechain launched for the supply chain management, then they would not go ahead and go expand this into other products. And this is all there. You can search everything. This is very transparent, and there are good sources that confirm this information. Vechain is also partnered with brands like UFC, PwC, Group Renault, BMW Group, and a lot more, right? So, Vechain is pretty good at, marketing as well. So that's another important thing, getting your name out there and having people understand what you do and how you do these things, because, at the end of the day, there's so many protocols today. And, if you want to invest in a certain project or protocol, then, marketing is something that I feel like it's underlooked by a lot of different protocols today, right? And you can literally see certain coins or protocols, they don't have no use case, but they move so much, right? And it's mostly because of marketing, right? And so when you get to a level like Vechain, which has done phenomenal, right? They rely in some ways on the marketing aspect. Of course, it's not everything. Having a strong use case is probably the most important part, and then everything follows, right? So each collaboration has its unique elements that make the network a multi-purpose protocol, right? So this is pretty cool there to see. You can go ahead, look up this Sam's Club Vechain collaboration. You love to see it, because at the end of the day, you just want to see growth in the space, and seeing something like Vechain is so different, and that's why I personally do like it. Which kind of leads to the next part. VET is a native token for the Vechain Thor network. Their circulating supply is 72. I said 72 billion here. Literally, I think I've might have had a typo. So let's quickly fact check myself, because might have did a typo. Yeah, so 72.51 billion tokens, and so gotta fix that typo there. And it has a cap supply of 86 billion. Okay, and so pretty much for the most part, all the tokens are out. So that's pretty good to see. And if you were to invest in a project like this right now, then you don't have to worry too much about investing, right? Because a lot of times people buy things, but they forget that, hey, sometimes what happens is, like the network itself will invest a lot of tokens, which will put a lot of pressure on the price, which is not really the best thing. So yeah, and then moving on, a total of the 68%. So this is Tokenomics, how they raise money and how the Vechain, the VET token was distributed. 68 or 70%, let's just round it up. 70% of the supply was sold to investors. About 30% was sold to founders and, the project, according to Masari.io. The link is here. Link will also be in the bio as well, if you guys want to come back to this and read it. At one point, the Vechain Foundation burned 13.3%, which kind of makes sense. So I would assume that this used to be 100 billion, and they burnt 13% of it as a part of the token sale refund process. In a later article, we will also discuss VTHO, which is going to be on the bottom side here, right? And how it plays in hand with the Vechain tokenomics. At the time of writing, the biggest holders of Vechain are also exchanges. So I like to also look at wallets, like who's the biggest Vechain whales. Can somebody sway the price in a certain direction? And it looks like Vechain, like bags are mainly held by exchanges. So no real worries there for anyone dumping it per se. Moving on, staking and governance. So Vechain is fairly simple to stake depending on the tier you decide to go with. Per the image below, you will see the complexity and reward for each category. Each category has different yields of voting power in the governance system. For example, running a modular node. So let's just pull this up. There's different types of node. Will require holding 15 million VET. So you know, some of these nodes to run will require a lot of you know, power, or I'm sorry, I said power. Some of these nodes will require a lot of tokens, but it will also give you more influence over the network, which you can see here. This is kind of a you know, display of showing that M, which is the, I don't know how to say it, modular node, gives you 15 EN votes. And so, you know, the more tokens you hold, the more voting power you have, which kind of makes sense. Additionally, the governance system is unique because master nodes have 40% of the power. It is important to note that the running master node will require full KYC verification for the VeChain Foundation. In some ways, this makes it centralized because the majority of the voting power comes from people who need to register with the VeChain Foundation. And so, guys, this makes it, you know, kind of centralized because, guys, if you're participating in a network, you know, it should not require you to KYC, okay? That's not decentralization at all, right? And so some of us, there's a lot of a bad stigma around centralization, but look, I'm here to tell you that maybe centralization is not bad. And that's why Sam's Club is okay with using this network, because they know that there is a entity that is seeing, you know, everybody and making sure there's no bad actors. But also on the other side of that, if the people maintaining and registering these people who are running master nodes, you know, might manipulate the network in certain ways, right? I mean, there's also that possibility, right? Every single everything has like pros and cons to it at the end of the day, right? You know, so yes, this is the unfortunate reality. That doesn't mean that I don't like VeChain. It just means that the network is centralized when it comes to governance, right? We don't know what they can do, right? And so that is not really, again, ideal, but it's just something that you should know if you're going to invest in VeChain. And so, yeah, that's the truth. If you don't like it, then don't buy it. It's very simple. I personally still like VeChain. I'm still going to scoop some up. But I think it's important to know everything about a protocol, especially if you're going to invest in it, right? Because there's risks in everything, okay? And just because a network is centralized doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, because clearly, you know, so far the VeChain network has done well, and we have not seen anything bad happen from the VeChain Foundation. So right now, there's no reason to assume that, but it is still a risk that I understand and I'm willing to take. So with that, I'm going to move on. So what is VTHO? VTHO is the gas of the VeChain ecosystem, which is very unique in its own way. So each time a transaction occurs, a small percentage of VTHO is required to complete the transaction, even though businesses and developers are required to use VTHO for operating smart contracts or uploading data. Something really interesting is how node operators may earn VTHO for holding VET. For every transaction that occurs, 70% of VTHO gets burned and the 30% is awarded to node operators. With users constantly using the network, the VTHO's aggressives burn, one can safely assume that the value of VET and VTHO rise together. So basically they're kind of like hand in hand. If you look at like the chart of a VTHO and VET, they're pretty correlated, right? And I think that the VTHO like use case is very interesting because basically it's like gas. It's like gas fees, but it's its own token, and it's required to do anything on the network. So in some ways, it's incentivized to hold VTHO, but also if you're holding VeChain, you get paid VTHO, which is also really cool. So depending on what you want to do, you know, it will, you know, be beneficial holding either, right? Because there's times where I had VTHO on VeChain on the exchange, and I was rewarded VTHO, and I didn't even do anything. So it's very, very interesting concept, and I think that's what makes it very, very cool, how VTHO is used. But you know, we'll see what happens with that. I think it's going to be interesting to watch, and yeah, I think the main thing to focus here is on the VeChain protocol and making sure that the actual use cases are growing. So outside of that, I mean, it is a cool concept, and I will continuously monitor what happens with VTHO. And then moving on to technical analysis here, I basically share this chart from July 18th, and the price was at 2.4, and you can clearly see it. This is a great zone to essentially buy. And I'm just going to read this and then also update it because this is from what, August 2nd. So we got to talk about it a little more. It's been about 2 months now. So VET has had an amazing run, running from 0.001 sheesh to 27 cents, yielding 200x returns ever since VET has hit all-time highs. We have seen price fall towards a high time frame demand zone, which should act as a support region. This image was shared on my Twitter on July 18th at 2.4, 2 cents, 2.5 cents. Ever since that low, VET has risen to almost 3 cents, equaling about a 20% gain. The next big resistance is 3 cents and 3.5 cents. The way the move is subdivided will give hints on how the next move will play out. Bottom structures typically take a long time to form. In reverse, when bears are exhausted, so it's best to stay patient for a clear pattern. All in all, the price action of this chart is very bullish over the longer term, and holding the support will be crucial. So let's take a look here. Clearly, we've had that run all the way up to 3.5 cents. I mean, guys, like, I nailed the resistance, okay? And, you know, I don't mean to toot my horn here, but I like to back up my claims a little bit, because at the end of the day, everybody is sharing information on the internet. But listen, I tried to do my best to give you guys the most accurate information and the highest quality information. And clearly you can see here the accuracy, the precision at 3.5 and how we hit it. We didn't get exactly there, but I said 3 cents. I mean, close enough, right? And so, you know, that was the resistance, and we fully retraced back to where it started. So, you know, if you guys were following me on Twitter when I posted it, I kind of hinted that, you know, in this region, you know, profits were taken, right? So, yeah. So you guys want to follow me on Twitter, make sure you are subscribed, notifications on, liking the video so that the algorithm feeds you my videos. If you guys want to stay up to date, I'll share, of course, you know, resistance zones, support zone, things that are able to help you guys, you know, I don't know, like, help you guys sell or buy or whatever it is. I mean, obviously it's not financial advice, but these are zones that I think are interesting, so you can use them to however you like, right? Of course, if you guys remember, not financial advice, none of this, because if you listen to me, your portfolio will go to zero. You understand me? And also, at the top of the video, do you not see that? It says, please note that all views are my own, don't constitute financial investment advice. Okay, get that right. So moving on to the conclusion. Vechain is utilizing blockchains in a way that has never been done before by utilizing smart contracts and IoT, a business that can track their goods from point A to point B and know everything about it. This makes Vechain extremely attractive for businesses to take advantage of transparency. The blockchain is immutable, meaning a business receiving products would not have to worry about counterfeit products by utilizing the Vechain network. Additionally, with the use of IoT sensors, a business may also track the humidity and temperature. This ensures a quality that was retained during the shipping cycle. These unique use cases have attracted many partnerships and have led to the overall growth of the blockchain, which makes me bullish on what's to come. Lastly, while I am bullish on Vechain, it doesn't mean it's correlated to the value of VET or VTHO. So with that, I want to end the video off letting you guys know that you can make your own decisions at the end of the day. I am bullish on VET, even though the governance aspect might be centralized, unfortunately, right? But I'm a realist, okay? I don't like to sit here and just believe anything that anybody tells me. The facts and the data, and I just use logic and reason when I make an assessment, okay? And, you know, it is what it is. If you don't like it, that's perfectly fine. But if you do like it, then hey, listen, make your own decision if you want to buy some, okay? But listen, I am definitely scooping, okay? I like Vechain. I like what VET is doing. I think that in some ways, centralization on certain blockchains, not all, right, are okay. But again, there is a double-edged sword that could lead to, you know, some issues down the line. And so, you know, keep that in your mind if you do invest in certain coins. Again, let me remind you guys that none of this is financial advice. If you made it to the end of the video, please like and sub. It just helps the algorithm. And as always, haro haro haro, peace.